Well, hello everybody, and welcome back. And man, aren't we starting things off on a bit of a high note here, huh? Now, obviously, I mentioned at the end of the last episode when we made the playoffs for the first time, made it to the Final Four, and lost. In case you missed it, in which case, go back and watch it, even though I just spoiled it for you. I said we were going to be at the start of the next season and be ready to go. That was before we got an offer sheet of 7 years and nearly $23 million tendered towards Pete Walters by the Columbus Heat. 4 first-round picks would be the return. On one hand, I could have just been like, whatever, let's just skip it. But, it's nice for people to know, like, oh, that offer was out there. But there is no world in which we let go of Pete Walters after a 50-goal season at age 25. Like, this is like the face of this challenge. Like, he is well over a point per game, 3 straight seasons of at least 70 points, 3 straight seasons of at least 40 goals. He's our guy. He's not going anywhere, not even close. We will be matching that offer, and Pete Walters is going to be here for at least the next 7 years. So it was worth, at the very least, seeing kind of what the offer might be for him. And it's funny now, too, because you look at, like, okay, what can we do in the preseason? The one thing I noticed, looking at the stats, he doesn't even shoot the puck enough. Let's up that shot frequency. Like, this guy legitimately, despite the shortened season, could be a 60-goal scorer, as insane as that is. So, hey, we will just continue on from this point. We will do what we have to do. Ethan Belchetz took a qualifying offer, which is very good. I didn't even see what the hell I have to do for him for an offseason focus. Excuse me. What can we do for Belchetz? I don't even know. Let's just presume awareness can go up. Why not? For most of our players, offensive awareness can definitely be improved. I think we have 1, maybe 2 RFAs left, so this should not take too long. We'll have to set up scouts and stuff like that too, but that is perfectly fine. To be honest, like, it gives me a nice little opportunity to, hey, get some of those talking points in there in terms of what's been going on the U.S. I was going to say the U.S. side of things. I read something caught my eye. I tried to bring up r/hockey just to be like, is there anything I'm forgetting to bring up? And the answer was no, but it brought up like an old article about, like, oh, how people were booing the U.S. anthem in Canada. Fun times, man. Fun times. Those were really, really fun times. But let's see here. I'll save a lot of the talking points for when we actually get into the sim, just to make sure we don't mess anything up here. In which case, I probably should have signed. Oh no, actually, we don't have any RFAs left. That's even better. Cool. Well, let's get those scouts set up. We also have 2 A+ level coaches. I'm not sure who our coach is actually going to be this year. We will see. Honestly, we don't want to move that guy either. Ooh, the scouts are a mess. Holy. Holmqvist. Congratulations. You're going over here. Your familiarity with the region won't be great, but hey, we don't have much of a choice right now. Dude, we don't even have scouts for the Q. Where the hell are all of our scouts? They're in Sweden. In fairness, good place to be. Shout out to Sweden. Let's go. CHL, we need a couple of scouts in the queue. All of this fun stuff that just takes way too goddamn long to change. Like, it's nice in a way to have this information. Like, if you truly want to look in and be more in depth, there also just needs to be a quick change button. Like, I don't really care. Like, oh, there's only 80 forwards here. Like, I barely look at that. Like, let me just go, like, right here, click select, and instead of, like, find prospects, like, give me the option to quick change the region. That is all I am asking for. Well, that's not all I'm asking for. Lord knows I could ask for a lot more when it comes to this game, but you get the point. So let's see. We needed U.S. Central. I do love that our strengths and weaknesses in that bottom right-hand corner, everything's showing up as an A+. There is a legitimate shot of this being our final season. I don't really see why we won't or couldn't or wouldn't win the Stanley Cup this year. I think we could. Very, very much so, especially keeping a 40-goal scorer on the team. So we have that going for us. There we go. Scouts are good. Like I said, coaching, honestly, I mean, we know this coach is okay. But how good is the other one? If we get rid of this goalie coach for the moment, I want to compare these two A pluses. One's a general, one's a defensive. You do have Reinprecht style physical, Conan style physical, and just those two are listed as physical. Interesting. I mean, honestly, like the A pluses aren't even that much better. I think we could easily go with Reinprecht as our coach and be good to go. So honestly, let's relegate Caffrey here. Gonna have Reinprecht. To my knowledge, there is no outright proof that, like, oh, if they're a good power play coach, tie them to associate. If they're good on the PK, tie them to assistant. It is typically what I do just to keep it simple. But in case anyone was wondering why I'm kind of looking at things that way, that would be the answer. And then honestly, AHL, yeah, that's fine. Although, maybe we should make Hillman the AHL coach. So, you know what? Chan, goalie coach. Who cares? Don't really care if you're good with goalies or not. So, let's go with Reinprecht as the head coach this year. I think that could be decent. Let's get a look at what this roster might be. So, in goal, Buckley, Harenstam. Buckley, right now, almost a full house of abilities. Just needs a gold, which is really, really nice. Almost 5-star across the board. Pretty much nothing we can do with Buckley to make him like better. Like assigning like goals for the season for goalies for me just seems like a waste. Staples is also ready to go as a backup, so we're looking pretty good. Defensively, we're also looking pretty good, aren't we? In terms of calling people up, we can call up McChesney since he's a depth option. I haven't been in the preseason calling people up based off of their potentials for like the last season or two. Mainly been calling people up based off of their role and whether or not the game designates them as like, oh, okay, yeah, this is an NHLer. We could call up Menino. It would require us to send down a defenseman. Like there's no way Hedberg and McChesney are making this roster, right? So screw it. Let's just send them down. And let's bump up Menino. And honestly, you know what? Screw it. McChesney can come back because I know he still has a potential. So we'll go best lines there. They'll all get the preseason training that we always have to do. But in terms of goals for the season, then, defensively, really there's nothing to change. Like, Maloney is what he is. Like, we could technically give him a goal for certain assists to try and up the passing. Like, that's about it. But there's no X factor or anything that he can get at this point. And with a lot of our other defensemen, there's pretty much nothing that they're going to be able to do from a stats perspective to make it worth the investment. Only thing that's really worth doing is trying to see if Ruchin will play lefty, which I have been trying for years and years and years now. But just trying to see if he's willing to give lefty a chance because it can give us slightly better line chem. We'll do the same thing with Festerini. But yeah, going through these defenders, like there's pretty much nothing I have to do anymore aside from just trying to optimize if we can the positions because, again, player type, like if they're a DFD or enforcer defenseman, there's nothing to change them to, right? It's the forwards where we have a little bit more maneuverability. Defensively, not so much, right? It's pretty straightforward. We'll see if McChesney is willing to switch. And down in the system, Hedberg's the only one to care about. The low elite 4th round pick from this past draft. So again, just as a younger player, can you play lefty? Nope, he's not willing. Perfect. I love those 18-year-olds that are just like, nope, I will not listen to you, distinguished NHL head coach. Liam Pugh, we've been trying to switch center as a secondary position to left wing for a long time. Same thing with him. Like, we just need to see if his passing will improve, right? Because, oh my God, it's terrible despite him having a gold. So on ice play, positionally, let's try to get left wing as that secondary. He's not willing to try. Can we honestly, can we get Grinder Has a play style? Nope. Okay, he's not willing to listen to a goddamn thing. So we will go stat challenge for him and 28 assists for a +1 to +5 in that passing category. Grice doesn't have too much going on for him. Stat-wise, what did he do last year? 11 assists? Yeah, I don't think he's going to be anything too crazy. So we'll try to add left wing. Try to make him a power forward. I mean, he has the passing, where he might be okay. So let's see. Left wing. He's willing to try. Thank God. Didn't mean to hit end a conversation. Why does it do that? Why does it do that? Why does it go back to end conversation? Just go back to the next one. What are we doing here? Is he willing to be a power forward? Very convincing. Okay, cool. It actually was. So there we go. If Grice can become a little bit more offensively oriented, that could be pretty good. Shannon Butler. Again, no point in trying to get him an X factor, but if we could go center grinder, I mean, a 70 in face-offs, it's serviceable compared to some of these other guys. Can we get center? Nope. Again, this also, good system, needs to be faster in NHL 26 and beyond. It needs to be. There are so many people that I have heard from this year, and it's the reason why I've been cutting out a lot of off-season stuff in videos lately. There's so many people who just find this so mind-numbingly boring, and I totally understand. For the sake of a challenge like this, though, it is worth the time investment, in my opinion, at least to try to be able to improve this team in any way that we can. They just need to make it more approachable and less mind-numbing to try and use these features, because they are it's a good feature. It is a really good feature. Like we've needed something like this in the game, especially ever since they decided to take away the ability to freely edit whether or not someone was a left wing or a right wing or a power forward or a sniper. And I don't hate the idea of players having to, be convinced. Like, player personality types should be a thing. It just takes too damn long. Like, we're 12 minutes into this, and this has pretty much been the full thing. The only reason why I haven't jumped ahead is because I haven't, showcased what I've been doing in the off season and, setting things up for a while now. So I'm like, well, hey, there you go. Kind of get you a look at what's going on with these players and what the mindset is. Like, every once in a while, that's not the worst thing. Did end up signing Jeff Stevenson. I said that awkwardly, by the way. Let's go left wing a grinder for him. He's going to be down in the AHL. But again, like, it should not take this many button clicks to try and do this, because there are some people who are just not going to want to put up with the nonsense. I'm used to dealing with menus. It's what I do in every game. I mean, God, the roster editing side of things, all that fun stuff, like, this is what I do. I don't mind it. But there's going to be a lot of people who are just like, dude, this is ridiculous. Like, this just takes way too long. The juice isn't worth the squeeze, as they say. And I can't totally disagree with that. Not totally. I do think a lot of times this can be helpful if you want to make the team better. But is it helpful enough for a lot of people? Apparently not. Pete Walters, for the love of God, buddy, we need you to play center. We need you to play center. I think switching him to a grinder could end up being a drastic mistake. Not that I think he would even try. And he's not willing to try to play center either. But switching him could be a big mistake. Good thing is he won't do it anyway. As you would have seen, he has the full house of abilities, but you also saw what we were working on before. Ooh. Again, the fact I can't hit B from here either is fucking annoying. I was wondering if we should go for MVP. But honestly, let's just go 28 goals. He'll get that in his sleep, and he'll up the shooting category. It's more of a slam dunk for him. Belchets, we already have it left wing, right wing. Got to go for a gold. Got to try to get him back to a power forward. That is the big thing for Ethan. So position, not what I wanted. New topic. On ice play. Play style. Takes forever. Not willing to change back. That sucks, but that is my fault. X Factor, easiest thing he'll probably be able to get is the 34 assists. We'll see if we can get Belchets on a gold. Lundberg at an 89. Left wing, right wing again. Got to try to get him to center. Got to try to get him to grinder. Got to try to get that passing skill up there. So let's see what we can do. Positionally, will he go to center? No, of course he will not. Why would he? Play style. Nope, not willing to listen either. Cool. Season goal then. Stat challenge. Get those assists. Get that passing attribute up there, please, and thank you. Pekka Salonen. Again, he's still looking pretty good. Left wing, right wing's good. Got to go power forward. And in terms of like any goal, like not really. Like his shooting and his passing isn't up there. Biggest thing for him is, for the love of God, will you please switch to a power forward? 50-50. He says no. Awesome. Awesome. Damian Carson, left wing, right wing is good. Try to see if we can switch him to a grinder. I do think, in a way, you should be able to tell a player, this is the play style. I don't think that should be up to this conversation system, because it happens in real life where a coach is just like, look, you are playing this style of hockey. You're on my team. You're playing this way. We saw that with the likes of John Tortorella when he was in Vancouver coaching the Sedins, and it's like, nope, you're blocking shots. You play for me, you're blocking shots, that type of thing. So it does happen. It'd be really nice if we just had that ability. What I had argued for in the past, and what I still think they should have done, is to kind of take a page out of Madden's book, which isn't often a good idea, admittedly. Let's go right wing and power forward for this guy. In Madden, there are archetypes for each player. I.e., this guy is an 84 overall power back, but a 78 overall finesse back. Now, granted, he'll just be a power back, right? You don't get the choice to be like, okay, I want to play you like a finesse running back. I do think in this game, it would be very nice. It'd be very Football Manager to say, okay, Marcel Biega is a 78 overall power forward, but a 71 overall sniper. Well, obviously, I'm going to set my team up to play like a power forward, but if I think he would actually be a decent sniper, then why can't I try to just say, okay, you're going to play as a sniper. Deal with it. Like, I see something in you and your attributes and what you're good at that you don't see yourself. Like, I just don't know if it's right for like an 18-year-old player, again, to just be like, actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Especially when it's detrimental to the team, which in some of these instances, some of these guys not willing to play center, stuff like that, it's been pretty detrimental to the team. Not to mention, with this conversation system, you need to get players to say yes first, and then you wait 2 months, oftentimes still to be told, actually, never mind. Again, not difficult to see why a lot of people would be like, dude, I am just not going to deal with this nonsense. Totally understand that. Totally understand that. Obviously, we didn't change the enforcer. I still think it's weird that you can't change somebody to an enforcer. Like, it's so weird, right? Like, we talked about the X factors that you could train up, and the fact you can't train up like shutdown or truculence. I don't know. Maybe they just fit into the system what they could for NHL 25, and it'll be expanded in 26. I don't know. Hopefully that is the case. Gryba to a grinder would be a big risk. He did have 32 points last year. 32 assists, I should say. I highly doubt he's willing to switch to a grinder. Let's see. Very convincing. No, he is willing to try. I mean, it's a bit of a risk, right? He could end up being an Ethan Belchetz, but I still think, the short-term attribute gains are still pretty well worth it. Let's go third eye. See, I mean, again, just 22 assists because it's relative to the season length. Like, he should be able to get that. Colborne, try to add left wing and switch to a grinder because there's not much else we can do with you either. So let's see. Left wing. Of course not. Oh, nice play. Play style. 17 button presses later. Convincing. It says no. Great. And then 2 centers left. Sawyer Sweeney. We just got outright try to change into a left wing. Like, you are not a good center. 65 faceoffs. Position. Change position. Left wing, please. All right, he's willing to listen. There haven't been too many people that I've looked at to be like, yeah, no, they'd be a better defenseman and stuff like that. I've barely messed around with that this year. It's also too far buried into the damn menu to really give a damn. And then Fishout, who is an enforcer. Cool. Not a very good center, though. Can we get you to left wing? Position. Change position. Left wing. He's willing to try. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you. All right. So, in terms of preseason training here, most of our top guys are decent skaters now. It honestly needs to be the general passing ability of the team that we focus on, or the shot. So let's see what our options are here with old Chris Reinprecht. Season goal is to eventually be able to compete for the cup, which I totally agree with. So let's see. Puck control, deking, puck control, passing. Lose a bit on the shot and defensive awareness. And I must have gone right past the one to, oh my God. Okay, I didn't know that wrapped back around. There's actually nothing you can do to improve the slap shot power, apparently. Just the wrist shot power? Cool. Make slap shots important again. Well, we'll go for the passing boost then. Why not? I mean, plus 3 to 5 is pretty damn good, so let's focus on that power play. Try to offset the defensive awareness loss down the road if we can. I mean, again, we have a lot of defensive defensemen. We should still be good. Shouldn't be a big deal. But let's see what we have here. Let's see. Waivers will be in effect. That's fine. And just want to make sure that everything has rolled over. God, how long do we have to wait for our first game against the Nordiques? Holy hell. Dude, I still don't see them, but everything should be fine. So let's finalize our roster for this year. Hopefully the team that's going to win us the cup. We have Buckley and Harenstam, of course. Defense, Maloney, Wotherspoon, Dowell, Ruchin, Kolamainen, Schroeder, and Festerini are both capable. McChesney will be sent down. We'll see who better fits. Both of these defensemen, waiver eligible anyway, so no changes there. And then for the forwards, we have 10, 11, 12 with Colborne, 13 with Lindstrom. Okay, I don't think we're going to send anybody down there. So, it will be, for the moment, best lines. And let's do the defense first. Chemistry's still not great on the defensive side of things. It does put Festerini in to start. That's okay. If we put Ruchin up there, not so great. I guess it's just the combinations with Maloney. No, we got a +1 with Dowell. That's okay. I'll put Dowell on the left, too. That way Maloney can shoot. Offensively, it sits out Butler, which, that's a tough player to sit out. But I am willing to trust it. So let's see. Ooh, that top line. I mean, again, it's tough to turn down a potential +5. Really, really tough to turn that down. Apparently, we can only get a +4. There was a +5, but then we'd have to have the weird centerman option that I don't want to do. Belchet's, Greiba, Salonen should be really, really good. Honestly, the current version of this team looks decent. We don't really have a good fourth line center, but it's the fourth line. I think that team could be very, very good. I think so. And then AHL, obviously we got some veterans like LaBelle that's been around for a long time now. Defensively, still looking good. I don't think Byzantine's ours, right? No. Toronto Raptors draft pick. Hedberg is ours, though. So AHL's looking good. NHL's looking good. Let's do this. I mean, we should very, very well be in the playoffs here. Let's be honest, we should be competing for a championship this year. And speaking of championships, remember how I said I was going to wrap back around to the old Stanley Cup final? Well, shout out to the Florida Panthers for winning Game 2, but Edmonton. I can't help but feel after Game 2 that the Oilers let the Panthers off the hook. And there has not been a team in recent memory that has gotten away with letting the Florida Panthers off the hook and haven't paid for it. The Boston Bruins let the Panthers off the hook at one point. They paid for it. The Toronto Maple Leafs up 2-0, winning in game number 3. Didn't close the door, let the Panthers off the hook. They paid for it. It is a 1-1 series, but if I'm an Oiler fan, and again, I am rooting for the Oilers in this particular... Wow, we've had a lot of success here. I am rooting for the Oilers in this particular cup final. I would be a little bit afraid that maybe, just maybe, a mistake, too big of a mistake was made. Because, again, the general feeling for me as a neutral is that the Oilers should have won that game. The Oilers should have won that game. And, I mean, it took obviously you had the crazy first period and the Sam Bennett thing, and it's like, look, in regards to the Sam Bennett thing, I don't even have an opinion at this point because the NHL, has made it perfectly clear, the Department of Player Safety, all of it, they've made it perfectly clear they don't really give a shit about player safety. It's an oxymoronic title, Department of Player Safety. It's just one of those things where they don't care. All you have to do is hope that your goalie, for example, or your star player isn't the one that's hurt, right? Like, I think probably everybody by now has heard what a certain member of the Dallas Stars who was slashed in the foot went through just to try to play again in that series, right? So, the NHL doesn't care, right? So why would I put energy into caring about something that I ultimately can't change, but that isn't so important in life? Like, right, like there are things in life where it's like, look, man, I might not be able to implement the change, but it's still an important enough thing to stay focused on and to keep talking about, right? Happy Pride Month, by the way, for that example, right? That is an example of like a real world important thing that is that is more than worth continually talking about. The NHL sucking ass despite having the best hockey players in the world and not caring about protecting those players and all that. Like, dude, again, it's one of the reasons I stopped doing the podcast. Like, it's just, I couldn't consistently talk about it. And even now, it literally makes me feel near physically ill to just be like, oh, fuck, this conversation again. Can't do it, right? Can't do it beyond this. So the whole Sam Bennett thing, don't care. Don't care. Just got to hope it's not your goalie. But for the Oilers to come so close to losing and then Corey Perry scoring with freaking 17 seconds left, that's the point where it's just like, oh, man, like the Panthers almost got away with it, but it's the Oilers. It's the Oilers who are going to get it done. And then they lost in double overtime on a Brad Marchand goal, which, Brad Marchand. Let's revisit this as a Bruins fan, of course. I am perfectly fine that Brad Marchand was traded. There were talks about whether or not he was even going to stay because they might not have wanted to pay him what he wanted to be paid. And then you look at the trade deadline, and let's be honest, for the Bruins, it was cool. We don't trade Brad Marchand. We're having trouble coming to terms on a deal. He's probably not going to play at all the rest of the way for the Bruins because even for the Panthers, he was barely healthy for the start of the playoffs. So for the Bruins, he would have sat out. And the Bruins weren't going to make the playoffs without him, even if he was still technically on their team. Made all the sense in the world to get rid of Brad Marchand. You could argue if they got enough. But for the Panthers, I mean, it was a matter of that's the only place he really wanted to go. And the Panthers were buying what appeared to be, heading into the playoffs, damaged goods. Brad Marchand with an injury. However, it's quite clear that Brad Marchand was much closer to 100% than a lot of people thought he might be. Certainly closer as the Florida Panthers were hoping that he would be, because he has just been the perfect fit. And I said it on the godforsaken platform known as Twitter the other night, that he is on pace. He is already going to go down as one of the best trade deadline acquisitions in deadline history. Like, he's already up there. Whether or not he's the best, jury's still out on that. A lot of that depends on his performance and the team's performance through the rest of the series, and if they win another cup, which they very well could, of course, right? But he is very, very well on his way to being the best deadline pickup of all time. And the funny thing is, like, he still wouldn't even win the Conn Smythe based off of some other performances, mainly someone like Sam Bennett, who has 13 goddamn goals this postseason. But again, like it was just a deal that made sense for both sides. He has been amazing for the Panthers, and he wins it in double overtime. But the feeling for me is just like, man, did the Oilers screw up here? Because granted, you can have a 2-0 series lead and still lose to the Florida Panthers. We have seen that. But Edmonton in particular up 2-0, I don't know if the Panthers are able to come back. They say you're not in trouble until you lose on home ice, so maybe they still would have been fine. But especially now, like, dude, it's going to be a Panthers team that has that, that rejuvenation in terms of confidence after dropping game one. And they probably didn't even lose any confidence after losing game one anyway. But it's just the way that, again, the Oilers forced overtime. A late Corey Perry goal. You beat them in overtime. All of a sudden, you're up 2-0. It's like it's pushing the mentality monsters known as the Florida Panthers into very uncomfortable territory. And you can be a mentality monster as an athlete or a group of athletes. And the way I personify that term, mentality monster, is saying that there is an element of just your opponent stepping into the arena with you where they have that little bit of doubt in their head by default. Even if they won't show it, even if they won't talk about it, it's there. And you know that you're going to get to play with confidence that's only going to make you better. Great example, fucking Muhammad Ali, Anderson Silva, Mike Tyson, mentality monsters. Eventually, you get caught. And I think had the Oilers gone up 2-0, that would have been a great example of, oh shit, the Panthers got hit with a hard right hand. The knees are wobbly. Holy hell, the Oilers, I think they got this. And now all of a sudden, it's essentially a best-of-5 series. As a neutral, it has been everything. Oh my God, we won the conference. As a neutral, that series has been everything that you could have hoped for, just in terms of the quality of the first two games, right? It has been an unbelievable cup final. I do not, well, in some ways, I don't envy Oilers and Panthers fans. In other ways, I miss that feeling of like, there's a special type of anxiousness you feel when your team's in the Stanley Cup final. Having experienced a victory and now 2 defeats as a Bruins fan in my lifetime. But enough about the Stanley Cup final. More about our season here. The Goonfish, the top team in the conference on 104 points, a 36-11-0 record. Absolutely outstanding, averaging 4.3 goals for per game. Definitely beat down on a pretty weak division, though, but we'll take it. East Division sees our old pals, the Buffalo Sabres, make it, the only team out of that particular division. Central Division, the Utah Mammoth are back, as are the Saskatoon Caribou. And in the West, it is the Oakland Seals and the Anchorage Ice Tigers. Man, this season was the haves and the have-nots, at least in our conference. On the other side, the Florida Panthers, the Peg City Penny Pinchers, and the Columbus Heat all make the playoffs. Good thing we didn't take Columbus's first, because if they signed our guy, they would have won that division, and our first-round picks from them would have been worthless. East Division, the Quebec Nordiques make it by just a point. That is an incredibly close division. Again, 3 points for a regulation win. The Boston Fleet were right there, too. That's crazy. Central Division, the Edmonton Oilers. Oh, my God. Talk about weak divisions. That's ridiculous. I thought we had a weak division. Now I've seen an actual weak division. And in the West, the Seattle Magicians. Man, what the hell was going on in the league this year? How many teams were even up there? We were the top team in the league. We won the President's Trophy. I mean, let's see. 21 and down. More than half the league was under 500 in terms of possible points. That's rough. That is very, very rough. And as the cat's trying to break into the office here, what a jerk. Let me see if I can backhand him out of here real quick. Get out of here, man. Be gone. I don't know if me telling the cat to be gone would have picked up on the mic. But in the meantime, while I was yelling at my cat, you had the ability to see that Pete Walters again scored more than 50 goals in a season. That shooting category, he did get a boost. It's now at least a 90 across the board. His passing is outstanding. What a player. What a player. Ethan Belchetz now has gold third eye as well, which is phenomenal. Liam Pugh also had 63 points. Lundberg on 59. Greiba keeps getting better as he develops silver third eye. And then Salonen was up there too in terms of points. So, I mean, there's a chance that top six is good enough to carry us, as crazy as it is. And we are getting some good depth scoring as well. Defensively, Maloney, just 24 points, but a lot more defenders getting involved in the offense this year, which is still pretty nice. And then goalie-wise, a 923 for Damian Buckley. Maybe I should have set him up to win goalie of the year. Holy. There's a very good chance he's about to do that. As leading scorer, who else? Felix Pox was up there. Connor Bedard, Cedric Corey, Pete Walters, and then a tie between Dylan Gunther and the one and only Slava Zachanov, who was up there on 85 points. Top goal scorers, Pox and Austin Matthews break 60, while Corey, Sweat, Vesey, and Walters break 50. So, I mean, Pete Walters has some fine company surrounding him. Defensively, it's Adam Fox, Axel Sandin Pelika, and Brant Clark all breaking at least 50 points. So Clark has become an absolute beast for Quebec. For the goalies, the winningest, Buckley, of course. And it looks like he has goalie of the year almost wrapped up. It might go to Franklin McKenzie in Columbus. It's one of the two. Buckley probably won goalie of the year, though. And top rookie probably won't be Todd Battaglia because of the plus-minus. I could see it going to Robert Cronwall or maybe Jonathan Kaliko, but probably Cronwall. More than likely. But there we go. We know we are back in the playoffs. We know that we have a first-round bye for the second year in a row. This time, though, it says the number 1 seed as opposed to the 2 seed. And we will get a look at what the playoff situation is looking like. So it will be Edmonton and Florida with a first-round bye on that left-hand side. Quebec plays Columbus while Seattle plays Peg City. And of course, we have a bye alongside Utah. Buffalo plays Anchorage. Oakland plays Saskatoon. Back in the playoffs and perhaps right where we want to be. Perhaps. Now, there is an argument to not changing a dang thing about this team. But. I wanted to see if anybody has taken a step up in terms of overall. I mean, LaBelle is close. I want the coach to have options. So if we call up Jordan LaBelle, who switched from like a 72 rated power forward to like a 77 rated grinder, which is great. Stevenson went up 5 points this year. If we go best lines from here, it goes Walters, Greiba, Pugh, Belchetz, Colborne, Lundberg. Plays Carson, third line center with Salonen and Grice. You know, Coach, I think you're getting the options here, buddy. I'm going to trust you on this one. He doesn't want to run with Butler or LaBelle. I'm going to trust the coach on this one. Let him run with his team. We can send LaBelle right back down. And defensively, I don't think he'd use Hedberg or McChesney. I think we're good. Let's find out who it's going to be. As 6-3 lead for Oakland. I was going to say not too many gigantic leads. Columbus comes back to knock out Quebec. Buffalo advances again. And that sets us up with a showdown against the Oakland Seals. As they were able to knock out Saskatoon, they doubled them up in goals. Buffalo will have to play Utah after surviving Anchorage. Columbus plays Edmonton. And Florida will take on Peg City, who handled Seattle 9-2 in the most lopsided series of that opening round. So the Oakland Seals. It's been a long time since we did our Oakland Seals franchise mode. That was probably like NHL 17 or something like that. Oh my God. But let's see what they look like. They have Braxton Pusher, Milo Spelkvist, and Pierre Latendresse. 36-year-old Brandon Hagel with Ryan McLeod and Alex Jeffries. Quinn Finley, William Yared, Ty Cartier, Oliver Kapanen, Ivan Vorobiev, and Gustav Skriva. Defense is Timo Saranheimo with a 37-year-old Ryan Lindgren, Charles Alexis Lego, and Jack Pert, or Peart, I'm not sure. I always thought it was Pert. And then Sean Barons with Carson Lambos. The goalie, probably not Sergei Ivanov. I would imagine it's Daniel Trafford. And Stian Solberg, Danny Zhilkin, and Lucas Roynazol. That's a good team. That's a very, very good team. I mean, they were 29, 15, and 3. Like, there is no easy matchup here, to say the least. It's the away leg of this second round playoff matchup. Again, back in the playoffs, second year in a row. Let's see what we can do. First period, 1-0 Goons, with Belchets getting that opening goal. Second period, goal apiece, Saranheimo and Colborne. Again, we already got 2 road goals. It's a good sign for us. Can we close out this game and really put the pressure on Oakland? That is the question. We're 11 minutes down. We haven't had anything happen yet. Unfortunately, there's Colborne again. Man, he's stepping up. Coach trusted him. I elected to trust the coach. That was the right decision, as we are going to beat Oakland in Game 1, 3-1. Again, I still don't recall what the format is for the playoffs, but 3 away goals at the very least is always solid. Great game for Buckley in goal. Colborne and Belchets, a nice 1-2 combination there. And we are in a great spot to potentially advance. Should we not absolutely blow this at home? Our AHL team made the playoffs as well. I didn't even notice. Honestly, let me go back down for Iserlohn here as they knocked out SC Bern. They're playing Innsbruck next. We need to go best lines for them because we sent down LaBelle. Let's get him in there. Nice little bit of insurance. Let's see. Elsewhere, Columbus up on Edmonton, Florida and Peg City tied, and Utah is up on Buffalo. So we're up 3-1 on aggregate, trying to take away any hope for Oakland here early on. We're up 3-1 and make it 4-2. McLeod offset by Carson. Second period. Ooh, boy. It's close. 6-5 for the Goons. 2 goals for Saranheimo. It is a 1-goal series lead right now. Oakland gets the next one. They didn't. Menino scores. Lindgren gets it back. If it ends in a tie, and we are tied on aggregate here. Oh my God. That is not good. If it doesn't go to overtime, Oakland wins. If this holds. Okay, so now we know. It does go to overtime. Away goals do not matter. It is just total goals. The next goal wins this series and sends that team to the conference finals. It literally comes down to this. It is Game 7, sudden death. Just like that, except it's only in the second meeting. We kind of cut out the less interesting middle ground to get to this point. Here we go. We'll change that camera back. I'm not going to play this one out. We'll go back over to our best friend at True Broadcast. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. Here we go. Next goal wins. Will it be back-to-back trips to the conference finals for us? Liam Pugh can't get the shot off. Saranheimo had 2 goals in the second period. Andres takes the hit. Pugh is on. Walters. Steve on the backhand. What a stop by Trafford. I mean, that's the guy that you want. Pete Walters in on the breakaway. And he couldn't convert. It's rough. Walters, Greiba, and Pugh back out there. Face-off won by Oakland. So weird to see 5-3 in overtime, by the way. Here's Pusher. Stalkvist over. Latendresse. Nice poke check. Maloney, our number 1. Pugh for Greiba. Gryba to Walters. Gryba's onside. Walters swings through. Glove save by Trafford. Great efforts. Oh, but we can't have Pete Walters going, pick an underperforming star that you prefer. We need him to deliver, but it's Belchetz, Colborne, and Lundberg. See if Colborne can get the win between two gold third eyes. Another face-off one for Oakland. Nice forecheck. Milk this for Lindgren. Now Latendresse again. Latendresse for Sarenheimo. Lindgren. Nice save by Buckley. Colborne for Belchetz. Now Dowell. Tried to go ahead. Lindgren was there. Lindgren pressured. Survives it. Better remove. Jeffries takes a big hit. Pass up the middle. Brandon Hagel. McLeod. Another save by Buckley. And up the wall. Lundberg to Colborne. Colborne looking. Save. Belchetz full pressure here. Lundberg. This is Hurt wins it back to the point. Dowell looking. Colborne. Ruchin. Save. Belchetz loses it to Pert. Here's Jeffries. Skates it in. Hagel to Yared. Nice glove save by Buckley. I mean, Buckley's had to make some saves here. Both teams have had chances. Our physicality is on display. Have our first line out against their third. Gryba wins the draw. Wotherspoon in trouble. Loses it. Cartier. Saved by Buckley. Or Gryba. Now Pete Walters. Will the third time be the charm? Tries a move. Barron's there to take it away. Yared gets wiped out. Walters for Gryba. Elects to chip it in. Get a line change here. Fire wagon change. Lambos to Yared. Intercepted by Grice. Turns it back over. Carson's there. Carson tried to shovel it on. It got deflected. Barons gets melted. Solomon in front would score. Let's go. The crowd is dead silent for some reason. But the Goons are moving on. Surviving a scare against Oakland. Why is the crowd dead quiet? Who's to say? But Buckley makes some big saves. And your hero, the third liner Carson, his second goal of the series. We go back to the Final Four, where we belong. A nice chance of redemption. Man, they outshot us pretty badly, too. But right here, of course, for the Goons, the physicality was the difference. Carson had it. Tries to backhand shovel. It ramps off a stick. But then right here, the glove down in the corner gave time for Pekka Salonen to just throw the shoulder. Gets the puck. And posted up in front is Carson. Chips it right under the blocker. How did he get that far open? Like, was it a dumb defensive mistake or what happened there? Oh, so he started skating back. Their defense was late to react. Carson just had really good positioning. Just kind of hung around the front in case something went right for us. And he was correct to be thinking that way. We are back in the Final Four. 3 wins away from a championship. Question is, who is it going to be? It looks like it might be Utah. And it's not. Oh, baby. A rematch with our old foes who dispatched of us last year. It is Buffalo, who won 9-8 on aggregate. Meanwhile, Florida knocks out Peg City, and Columbus upsets Edmonton. So Columbus, the lowest seed left, and we are the sole surviving 1 seed. I would imagine Sabres are going to look pretty similar to to what they looked like last year when they knocked us out. Let's take a look for sure. And indeed, Lyndon Lakovic, he wasn't there last year. Connor Bedard, Dylan Gunther, son of a bitch. Jared Davidson, Adam Benak, and Boris Nabokov. Gavin Hayes, Francisco Pinelli, Larry Sorelli. That's fun. Antti Solani, Ray Trevica, and Will Dominguez. It's not bad. I mean, that top line especially. Defense, Cam Reed and Tim Barnaby. Michael Fisher, Daniil Orlov, Zeev Buyam, and Axel London, with Corinne Schneider and Mad Shogard in goal. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe we do want to take our chances with Schneider. Shogard kind of shut us down last year, didn't he? Didn't he? As our Calder Cup team is moving on to the conference. No, they're moving on to the outright final. So it's Iserlohn and San Jose in that one-game playoff. We'll follow that tomorrow. But for now, it is game number 1 against the Sabres. Let's do this. If we're winning this, we're winning the whole thing right here and right now. First period. 1-1. Dominguez and Grice. Okay. Second period. Okay, goaltending need not apply. Sorelli and Bedard, but for us, 2 goals for Pete Walters. Liam Pugh gets another one. We're up 4-3. It's nice to know now that away goals don't matter as much. It's just pure goals. Sorelli, 4-4. Davidson, 5-4. We don't have a positive to take away from losing at all. The away goals don't help. Pete Walters gets the hat trick, 5-5. We'll take a tie. We'll take a win as well. Grice makes it 6-5. Can we hold on here? 3 minutes left. At the very least, it won't be a loss, and indeed, it is a 6-5 win. Whew, as the logo's duplicated. That's fun. But we do get the win. Pete Walters, the hat trick. Grice with 2 goals as well. Shout out to him. So it is a 1-goal lead heading into that next game. But before that, the Calder Cup final. Our Iserlohn Roosters against the San Jose Barracuda. Can Iserlohn win the Calder Cup? It's 1-1. Lundberg gets the goal on Drew Comesso. Make it 2-1 with LaBelle scoring. We're not going to jump in for the presentation if we do win it, and we do. Rankin, the empty netter. The Iserlohn Roosters of the AHL, behind a great performance from Staples, your Calder Cup champions. That is 1 trophy in the books, and in the past, I would say, you know what, let's watch it, but that's not the trophy that we want. We know we're close. We're right there. Can we eliminate Buffalo? It looks like it'll be a showdown with Florida for whoever wins. Can we get our revenge on Bedard and the Sabres? First period. That's big. That's big. Let's go. Okay, so 8-5 on aggregate from that one. Bedard opened the scoring, but Walters, Carson, and Lundberg. Again, 8-5 lead now for the Goons. Jesus. It's not over. It's not over. 11-8 on aggregate. 2 late goals, Colborne and Carson. That is big. We are up by 3. But it's not over with the goal-scoring pace looking like this. Buffalo power play. Nothing there. Halfway there. We're so close now. 7 minutes left. Are the Goons going to the final? Yes, they are. Let's go. Not even going to watch the trophy celebration. It's not the one that we want. We get our revenge on Buffalo. And we go to the 1-game championship round against the Florida Panthers. Winner take all, the Super Bowl of hockey. Chris Reinprecht, you were right. And you were the man to get us to where we wanted to be. Our AHL team has already won it all. And now here it is. on home ice. We have earned the right to potentially raise the Stanley Cup. One game, winner take all. I got to be honest, like, now that we've been in the playoffs a couple times, like, this format is freaking stressful, man. It is. Like, yes, it's nice to see your team just sweep somebody else. It's torture to get swept, but when you know the runway is this short, and when you know it's one game, winner take all against Felix Pox and the Florida Panthers, he is alongside two versions of Josh Doan, Brody Zemmer, Denver Barkey, and Bill Zonin. Kevin he is him. Semyon Arkachintsev, Cruz Lucius, 38-year-old Adrian Kempe, Hunter Haidt, and Tanner Howe. Damn. Defense, Nolan Allen, Tyson Keatley, Sam Bolduc, Mikhail Gulyayev, and Alexander Suryatsky. Larry Keenan. The goalie, Ridley Paone. I'm saying that wrong, and that's okay. With Colton Dock and Mikko Matika. Linus Eriksson. Oh, boy. Felix Pox. Can we shut him down? One game, winner take all. Let's get a look at those beautiful patches on the jerseys. There you go. Love to see it. As opposed to the monstrosity like the Florida Panthers and other teams have now because of the freaking sponsor patch. Let's do it. I said today was the day, if it was going to be the day. First period, one game. Who is going to win it? Who is going to be crowned champions? If I'm not mistaken, Florida lost to Buffalo in the final last year, so they are looking for a measure of revenge of their own. A lot of shots early on for both sides, double digits. And it looks like, and indeed, we will get through the first 20 minutes without a goal. And the opening goal, Magnus Lundberg. Who else would it be? Maloney on defense, 2-0. The power play goal, no, it actually just expired. Pete Walters makes it 3. Kevin he gets one back. It's not done yet, but what a period for the Goons. Colborne makes it 4. And the Goons are 1 period away. If it was tied, I was going to say let's go and just watch the full third period, like 5-minute periods. But, dude, this game's over. Pete Walters, 5-1. We are rampaging over the Panthers. Oh, my God. The Goonfish of Trinidad and Tobago are going to get it done 7-1 over Florida. Absolutely insane. We'll wear the dark jerseys for this. I might even play a little bit. I was wondering if they had the Jet Blues. They don't. That's okay. What a freaking run for this team, man. Like, again, just how high stress these games are, knowing that it has to be a win. But also at the same time, it's like, oh, they're okay. There we go. The playoffs are over already when you get that first round bye and set yourself up like we did here.
Well, for those of you just joining us, better late than never here in the late stages of this.
All right, let's play it out. We know this one's over.
Officially on
shots.
mode here.
That's it.
Still keeps the hold of the puck.
Maloney to Salonen. Wotherspoon to Bryce. Maloney. Salonen. We don't have anybody on the 1T. Now we do. What the hell was that deflection? All right, dude, this team's crushed it. Kevin, he is done for. So the big question is, like, do we go for another? Or do we just say, like, hey, we know this team's good enough? I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. For now, I'm just happy to be obliterating people with Carson. Dude, he's so slow. Maloney? That was supposed to be a backhand. That was supposed to be a slap shot. That sucked. Dude, we just obliterate people. It's crazy. Oh, what a save on the shot by Salonen. Keenan. Salonen got called. Why did he get called? Oh, cross-checking. Oh, let's see it. I think he cross-checked the guy right in the face. Jesus Christ. Pekka Salonen living up to the reputation. 7-1 game, about to win the cup, and he cross-checks an opponent right in the throat. What an absolute Chad. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Take it that way. Ruchin, just put him down. Yep. This team is ridiculous, dude. We don't even need truculence. Lundberg. Lundberg. Our dude. We are going to win this cup on home ice. We earn the right. President's Trophy winners. Hawks gets a shot off. I don't even know how many he's gotten. Belchets, we got a chance for a reverse hit here. Step up. Maloney. Big save, one of the rare few. Down goes one of the Josh Stones. Down goes everybody. Hawks is in. Nice save by Buckley. And the Goons live up to a championship pedigree of teams past. And the crowd was actually mic'd up this time. Always good to see a team like this succeed. You do have to wonder how it would have gone, had we had the traditional format. But honestly, I'm good with it regardless. This was a fun little detour. As Ethan Belchets is going to be awarded the Conn Smythe, 11 points in what? 5 games? Tough to disagree with that one. Certainly difficult. I can't disagree with that one. And there she is. Lord Stanley's Cup has never been won like this. Although Lord knows the Florida Panthers have tried. Our captain, I believe it's Lundberg. At least it should be Lundberg. And it is. Rightfully so. A championship for the Goons. I love to see it. Good on Lundberg, too. The OG. Making it happen. And let's be honest, Pete frickin' Walters, come get this cup, buddy. Imagine if I had let him go to Columbus. Imagine. But no, Pete Walters is our guy. Got hair like Pete Wentz in 2005. And a championship for the boys. Let's be honest, gotta go goalie next. Gotta be Damian Buckley. A high-rated goalie who actually played like a high-rated goalie. He's a unicorn. The organization pulls off the double Stanley Cup and Calder Cup in the same season. Definitely wasn't expecting that to happen. And with respect to Belchets, we're going Isaac Maloney here on defense. We got our captain, our best forward, our best goalie, of course, and now our top defenseman, Isaac Maloney. Amazing they actually got a defender who can manage to put up points from time to time, but we did.
How tired must he be? How sore? You love the energy that he's given to his team.
5 games, 5 wins, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think we dropped a single game, did we? A hell of a run. Goon Fish, get it done. Head coaching change, the personnel decision, things worked out very, very well for us. Never get tired of seeing, technically, of course, the Toledo Walleye jersey. We'll never get tired of seeing that. We'll never get tired as well of Captain Magnus Lundberg. Beautiful, beautiful sights. Shout out to Brian McCabe. I forgot his name was on the cup for the Florida Panthers. Good for Brian McCabe. Good player. 58 shots, man, and we had quite a few of those before I jumped in. Pure domination. It was the Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl of Stanley Cup Super Bowls. But a phenomenal run, and it might be the last hurrah for this team. We shall see, as Belchet's just outduels Lundberg. Walters, 7 points, all of them goals. Absolutely hilarious. And Damian Buckley, we did lose in overtime once. That makes sense. Did we? Wait, when the hell did we lose in overtime? I genuinely don't remember who the hell we lost to. I genuinely don't. I don't remember if it was Oakland or Buffalo. Maybe it was Buffalo. Was it 5-4 in overtime or something like that? I just feel like we won it instead of lost it. I don't know. I don't care. The boys got it done. And thank God for that. Because honestly, like, again, with some of the draft picks the way they were working out, it's an interesting spot to be in. But I think as well, the team set up really well for the future. Walters went medium franchise. Oh, yeah. No, this team's going to be just fine. Liam Pugh, Belchet's, all these guys up around the 90. Yeah, this team is golden, especially with no salary cap to disrupt it. One of the more unique ways we've done a franchise mode. Again, we'll see if there's another season or few, but that might be it for this one. And if it is, always keep an eye out for whatever's coming up next.